Today, I have in the podcast show this wonderful lady that wrote a book. First of all, I have it here, right here. I can show it on the camera, but if you're listening, it's called Making Your Website Work 100 Copy and Design Tweaks for Smart Business Owners. I think it's an important tagline. Um, Jill, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, and thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Okay, I've been following your emails and LinkedIn updates, tips for some time now. It was on my list of people that I wanted to talk with. Not specifically just about the copywriting, but about your ideas about something. And we just talked about something up front, and then you gave me some interesting ideas about how do you think about this stuff? How do you think about this stuff? You've studied in Germany and you stayed in Germany. That's where you live now. You got a job from your as an IT consultant, but then you started your own business slowly.
Correct, yes.
Um, what was the importance of the decision to start your own business? How did it influence you?
I do not like being in a situation where I'm not happy. And I wasn't happy with the situation that I got a new baby and I was supposed to return to work, and I didn't want to do that. But prior to that, I was on maternity leave and I got really bored because usually my job was challenging and I was talking to people, solving problems, but staying at home and, changing diapers, it was extremely boring. And I started blogging. So I created my first website where I was just do personal blogging, telling other people's stories, doing some interviews. And of course, I wanted more readership. So I researched and studied what does it take to, bring people to your website, to make them stay. And suddenly I noticed that my professional background, my background from my studies and personal experience already gave me the knowledge a lot of people don't have in that regard. So my peers started asking me for website advice, and I started giving website advice. I started reading articles where I saw that people share those articles and praise those articles, and I was like, man, this is common sense. I know that. And then I understood that, okay, maybe this is some kind of an idea that I could do that for money without leaving home, without leaving my baby, whom despite of changing the diapers, I still wanted to stay with for a bit longer. And the idea of working, of traveling, and then coming home and the baby and the family, it just stressed me out, the idea alone. And I was like, okay, let's see if this is a viable option that I can start my own business. I didn't say to myself, let's start my own business, right? At first it was just like, okay, let's make some money, enough for the family to comfortably live the way we used to live. Of course, I had this luxury that my husband was earning enough income that I didn't have to earn complete full income from the start, so I could take it slow. And I was still on maternity. Germany was paying me maternity leave for I think 1.5 years or something, so I had a buffer, right? And I just decided, why not do that? Because first of all, it's much more fun. Second of all, I do not need any office politics, internal conflicts or whatever, which are present in every office. And I'm my own boss. I can select my own hours. I don't have to travel. I don't even have to put on pants if I don't want to, right? So let's try that. And it was a slow start because I didn't do any cold pitching or whatever. I really put all my eggs in the content marketing basket, and this needs some time to start working. So I started seeing first results, I think, only in 3/4 of a year, I think. So first 9 months was not much. I was, of course, connecting with people, writing very good content, learning, but nothing came in the first 9 months. And only, I still remember that first client that I woke up to an inquiry in my inbox from somebody who read a post on Google Plus, that network that existed back then. And I was like, oh my God, this is working. And this was the beginning. It was just like proof of concept that it works, that I can do my job well. Of course, I made mistakes along the road, but it was step by step. I became more and more confident in my abilities. And once again, just to summarize, it wasn't that I woke up and like, yeah, let's start my business. First, it was like, I want to stay home with the baby. I don't want to be that stressed. I want to earn at least enough money for us to comfortably live, not to, save so much all the time. And then, I wanted more and more with each half a year, let's put it like this, and put the new goals in front of myself in where I was achieving them step by step. And this is how it, became a business in the like official sense. And I think I can call it a business since probably 1 year only. Before that, I was still in this mindset. Yeah, okay, how is it going? But now I can totally tell you this is a business, okay? So yeah, this is how it happened.
So that means that you've been working like this for about 2 to 3 years without seeing it as a real business.
Well, I didn't, I just didn't tell to myself, okay, this is a business, right? I didn't have the super businessy mindset, I think. I was dealing with things step by step. I had the plan, okay, this month I would like to write this particular piece of content, because some pieces of content took me 10 weeks to write, right? And this was my goal. And, and then I was like, okay, and I would like this to generate me new subscribers. And then for new subscribers, this and that will happen. So I had this plan that had really few steps, but because I'm a mind person, I had a small child, and it took time to implement. And of course, I wasn't sitting there and thinking, okay, let's make some Excel sheets about expenses and planned income and, projected income and blah, blah, no, stuff like that. I wasn't thinking like that. But of course, it was already a business. I just wasn't in that mindset, right? I was just dealing with things step by step, what I need to do, what I'm planning to do, trying not to overstress myself, trying to not to burn myself out, which like almost happened a couple of times anyways. So yeah, this to say proudly, I'm a business, I'm a business owner. I think approximately a year ago, maybe slightly more than a year ago, I finally said to myself and say to myself, yeah, that's a business.
Do you remember how much time you gave yourself?
2 years.
2 years.
Mm.
And were you satisfied after 2 years at the position where you were?
Yeah, I was. I wasn't like, yay, super excited. But I think maybe because I'm generally not super excited about achieving goals. I achieve the goals, I go, yay, for 5 seconds, and then I'm already, on the course to achieve the next goal. But I think if one looks back, it was an achievement, right? Because we don't have any support system. We don't have any family around us. It's so much going on apart from, writing blog posts and attracting clients and doing content marketing. So that just in 2 years, it started working out earlier than 2 years. So even before the 2 years, I already saw, okay, this is a viable model. I would stick with that, and I think this will work. But we talked about this also with my husband. I said, I don't want to stretch it out into eternity. If I see in 2 years it's not working out, I'm not going to do that. But it started working out, and just by this, just that I say it started working out, it's already the goal achieved, right? I started getting clients. I started getting better. Clients were very happy. I started getting referrals. My social the social network was growing and stuff like that. So yeah, I can say I was satisfied.
Do you think that, because there's, like myself, there's people that quit their job and then say they start a business and then they act like they are a business and do everything like a business is doing. But you focused on just producing content, teaching people, and then slowly considering and building the business. What do you think that is a better way?
I don't think there is a better way. There is a way that fits you, and this would be the best way, right? Everybody has a different situation. If you would like to, there are people who would be much more smarter in the approach than me. They maybe are more seasoned. They finished business school. They had a parent who taught them some, business. They saw a person who was a copywriter, their friend, grandma, mother, father, and they have better support, better understanding, whatever. There's no such thing as better way. But what if you do not know what way would be best for you? I suggest looking for people who already are where you would like to be, like 2 years, 3 years ahead of you, and look at their methods. There are different methods online, right? Very loud ones or very silent ones, helpful ones versus cold emailing versus just teaching, no pitching. There's such a big variety of approaches. Just find a person that you think resembles you the most in the values and approach, and see what they are doing and how it works out for them. And they adopt their methods or try to adopt their methods. That was actually my approach. Because
So who was your example?
My example was Hannink. You know her, and I suddenly start noticing that this particular person posts on Twitter things that I completely resonate with me. That it's like she's, just stood out so much to me that at some point I just couldn't help but reach out, which I usually do not do. And somehow we connected, we became friends, and wow, she helped me so much. And then also Kitty Killian, we connected with her as well. And then I saw a couple of other people, like, for example, I like very much how Joel Kletke does his marketing and what he does. So I literally stalked those people online. I watched everything they produced, every video, every webinar, every blog post that seemed relevant to my problems and struggles. And I figured out my own way from what they were doing. Yeah, it's a combination of that. What they were doing, I adopted what resonated with me and didn't do what didn't feel right for me as a person. But seeing them succeeding, doing things the way I would like to do them, gave me confidence that this approach works. Because imagine you're sitting in the box and you think, I don't want to send cold emails. I just would like to solve problems in public. I would like to teach. I would like to be helpful. Is it a viable model to generate clients? If you were, a one-person universe, you would not know, right? Not to mention that you won't have clients because you are the only person in the universe. But just, theoretically speaking, you need to see role models. You need to see people who are doing things the way you would like to do, and to see this work, and this would be a boost of confidence. This is how it goes for me, because I was new to that. How would you generate clients? So many approaches, oh my God, and how would you figure out your way, the way that works for you? This is how I did it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you if you should do the same, because
no, I understand.
Giving business advice is hard, because the only business I've ever built was my own. So
yeah, that's smart.
This is how I did it.
Yeah. So, and you told before that you started blogging, writing stories and doing interviews and all this stuff. What were the topics that you wrote about that time?
Well, my approach, generally speaking, is if I do something, I need to do it better than anybody else, or I don't do it, right? So the interviews I did, they were in writing, and we took about 3 weeks to produce each interview. And it was about a particular aspect in life of people. For example, for one person, it was what was this, like a spy, not a spy, but intelligence consultant, something like this. Something I actually forgot. It was just so long ago. And there was another story about a person who started a charity to help kids from the streets in Pakistan to go to school. And this is actually not a simple story. It was extremely in-depth, extremely detailed, extremely gripping. I haven't blogged there, haven't written an article for 5 years over there. And this website still has a domain authority of 30 something, and it keeps rising. I don't know how it's happening. It started as a personal blog, as an outlet for my creativity, because I quit Facebook. And I used to write some stories on Facebook, but then I needed some other place to do that. And then it just transformed to talking to other people and listening to their stories. And I actually copy edited those stories. I didn't just let them ramble or anything. I would send them a questionnaire, they will fill it, I will fill it, I will ask additional questions, and then I copy edit it to make it to the point, to make it gripping, to bring my own perspective. And it took 3 to 4 weeks to do that. There was another blind guy who was a blind blogger as well. There are super interesting stories. Even now, sometimes I go and read it just, to remember great times, because it was extremely challenging. But then it is not profitable. I noticed I could have done it longer, but that's not profitable. because I didn't want to do affiliate marketing, and people won't pay you money to read those stories. That's why I branched out into copywriting and website consulting. But now I forgot your question, to be honest.
No, that's okay. That's okay, because we talked about the blog and the topics on that. So you explained that, but you tell that you really edited the copy that they sent you to make a really compelling and concise story. Where did you learn to write like that?
I have no idea, to be honest. I think it's just a natural inclination. My grandma was a language and literature teacher. I speak 5 languages. I generally like languages, and I also like math. So this combination of language and logic and structure, I think this is like the perfect combination for being a copywriter, that you have analytical side to yourself and love for logic, structure, and hate for fluff and blah blah on one side. On another side, you like the music of language, and somehow this kind of happened. I have no idea, to be honest.
No,
I did have English as major in one of my universities I studied at, but I'm not sure whether this contributed to that. Because we just learned the language itself. We didn't learn how to write.
Okay, so then you got the first inquiry after all your content producing. Oh no, I have this other question. Let's do that first. You told that you write these blog posts may take up to 10 days to write a post.
10 weeks.
Sorry,
Not
10.
Days,
So, yeah, sorry, 10 weeks.
Mm.
But how much time during a week do you spend at it?
Well, it depends. I think those times I would spend 4 hours a day maximum because of child. And when I was writing those posts, I'm thinking whether my child was already in kindergarten. I think so, because now it's better. My child is now bigger. He's a 6-year-old boy. He goes to kindergarten. I have 6 hours to myself. I still did manage to work all 6 hours because household, because appointments, because bank, insurance, whatever, dishes, laundry. But I think I was working not more than 4 hours a day. If I got to work 4 hours a day, it was a success. But I also remember times where I would work really also after hours till 2 o'clock when I was just not moving forward, or when during the day something else will pop up. First 2 years were extremely hard, but somehow I also enjoyed them because I enjoyed challenges, generally speaking. I think if the life would be totally calm and super happy with no challenges, I would probably find it boring. So I enjoyed that. I now look back and I don't want to have it again. I don't want to do it again. But during those times, especially because the support was I had the support of Henrik and Kitty. They were encouraging me a lot. We even held once a week a conversation via Skype that, we would exchange opinions, we would support each other, and they would encourage me and, boost my confidence. So this felt great, and that's why I kept going. And I also had a plan to stick to. I knew that I have to bring out those particular 2 pieces of content that up till now, after 3+ years, still generate a lot of new subscribers while I sleep. I seriously don't do anything. I update it maybe once, minor updates, but otherwise it's still extremely relevant. It's like the exemplary evergreen content. You just, do it once and it just works for you. It just totally paid off for me to do that, right? Despite of this being hard.
Right. So, because like you said, it is a really good content that people find in the search engines, and that's where they find you and come to your website. Did you specifically write those pieces of content with search results in mind?
Yes, absolutely.
So you looked for keywords and then you designed the content around that.
Well, actually, it was a bit in parallel. Because I was already working with clients up till now, it's a bit of the other way around. I see that people are struggling with particular things, and if I see commonalities, I'm like, okay, so my ideal clients have this problem they would like solution to, and then I think it was about the website checklist, right? So I'm like, okay, I would like to bring out website checklist. So what keywords can I go for around this? Is actually website checklist a keyword at all? So I was lucky in that sense. It was, right? So that was like, what keyword research? I want website to write a website checklist, and website checklist already has a search volume. So just go and write it. But I also put a little spin on it. It was website checklist PDF that I provide and that's searched for. Another one was website content checklist. So it kind of, first I look for the topic, and then I decide on the best keywords to do on-page optimization, SEO optimization for, right? So the topic, I won't do first research keywords and then see, okay, what can I write about? Because it just feels boring. And the keywords that I find, maybe I don't do proper SEO research, who knows? They're just so bloody boring. People already wrote about that. It's just like this blanket statement, oh, how to create a successful website. Yeah, there are books about that. Nobody can write you a proper blog post about that. So I need to see that it's, I enjoy writing about specific problems that have search volumes, but also for which the answers haven't not been provided yet, or I think I can make it better. If I see posts that do not answer this question, or answer it wrongly, or not in depth, right? I'm like, yeah, that's my topic. This is what I'm going to write about. But there are keywords that I know to make my website rank higher, I have to write about, like about page. But it does not excite me one bit. And I've been dragging it like for forever, because I think Hannink has the best post there can be about page. So why would I even bother? But if I had this, like super business oriented mind, I was like, no, I have to sit down to write it. My rankings will grow, and everything else will be better. I would get more subscribers, blah, blah, blah. But I just can't force myself to do that, right? And so I let myself be guided by my gut feeling and by things I don't want to do as well.
Right.
So this is like not that simple that, research, right.
Yeah. You said earlier that you were writing on Facebook and you wanted to leave Facebook, and then you had to write elsewhere. What was the reason that you stopped using Facebook?
I noticed that they don't take privacy issues seriously. Somebody was able to comment on my post, although it was either private or not shared with them, because it's like on those days it was like, if you have a post but you share only with friends, if a friend likes it, a non-friend sees it. That's crazy. And there are also so many things that are in this terms of services or whatever that are hidden and horrible, and they sell your data. I got so angry. I deleted this account, and I do not have an account on Facebook. And if you're wondering if you can build social presence and community without Facebook, I'm the living proof. Hannink is the living proof that yes, you can. You don't have, if you really don't like it, because I know business owners who say, I hate it, but I have to be there. You do not. It takes so much, willpower, nerves, and it gives you such an unpleasant feeling. You don't need this in your life, right? You are your own boss, so you get to decide what means you choose in your business. And if there is a particular way that you do not like, a tool you do not like using, just don't do it. Okay, there are other ways. There is nothing that one can say, oh, you must use it. No, you do not like email newsletters, don't write email newsletters. You don't like cold emailing, don't write cold emails. There are always ways to do your business, to be successful without doing things that make you feel horrible. Facebook was making me feel horrible, as I can tell you. Whether it's rational or irrational, I just didn't want to feel like this. So when I even think back about it, about this blue and white color scheme, it just makes me crazy. I really, really don't want to go back. I don't have to. And I was very happy with my decision. Now I am on Twitter and LinkedIn, and it works great. I mean, I never look back to Facebook.
Yeah, I don't use Facebook. I still have an account. I'm not sure why, but it's still there. I recently stopped using Instagram as well, because I also think it's a lot of posting vanity, and it's not good for my ego to do that.
That's also true.
But I still have an account, so maybe this will push me to also remove my accounts there too. Can you say something, I'm not sure if you want to, about the traffic that you're getting and the number of subscribers that you're getting from all this traffic?
Sure. Recently, I think with Google updates, my traffic really increased. I think a day I get 500 visitors, unique visitors. I haven't blogged in 6 months. My last blog post, I think, is I don't know, January or something,
Yeah,
because now I
January.
really don't have the time. It's crazy. I would like to blog, but wow, my calendar, I'm just afraid of my calendar, seriously. There's no way I can produce a blog post in the coming 8 weeks, right? The traffic still increased for whatever reason, I don't know. Subscribers, I think a day I get between 10 and 15 subscribers.
Wow.
And yeah, this is how we live. This is
Yeah.
how we roll.
This is how we roll.
Yeah.
Because you write weekly emails and you don't put them on your blog.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
not?
that's on purpose. Why should I? First of all, when I put something on my blog, when other people come, they will judge me and my skills based on that content. And not everything deserves to be put there. My subscribers know me, right? Everybody who subscribes goes through a sequence of 4-5 emails that are exceptional, that, I really put effort writing, and these are really as good as putting them on my blog. Some of them are based on my blog posts, but the other tips, they are smaller. It's not how blog posts are supposed to be, especially blog posts that rank. When I defend a point or present a point publicly on a post, it needs to have links to credible resources. It needs to have an accurately laid out argument to address objections people may have, to present screenshots. This is my requirements for my own blog posts that are hanging there in public for my potential clients who never met me, to make a judgment about my skills and my personality. But for my subscribers, this is like an insider circle of friends. They know my personality after these 4 or 5 emails, and I can send them weekly tips that are quick to implement without bothering with linking to credible sources, justifying my opinions, huge screenshots. They would be happy with one screenshot or whatever, and they would be like this mini exercises partially, that just do not belong on the blog, I think, because every time I write a blog post, it's at least 8 to 10 hours of effort, if not more. And I would like it to rank. I don't want to put anything on my blog post that does not rank. Sometimes I still do when I think it's important for people. Sometimes they come and search for particular content on my website. So I'm like, okay, for you personally, I will create this blog post. You want this, here you go. But I would like to have the biggest return on effort, ROE, not ROI, ROE, biggest return on my effort. And I would like to have additional visits from blog posts I write. And that's why I do not blog. But also I noticed that the weekly emails give me a lot of client inquiries. Not a lot, but enough. So I have 8 weeks plus waiting list. So why would I blog? Blog is just a means to your goals. If I'm achieving my goals without blogging, why would I blog? Right? I love my last blog post was not something for ranking. It's just like I wanted to find out what I think about a particular concept, this minimum viable conversation. It was something I came up with during a client review, and it struck me as something super interesting I myself never thought before about, right? So I decided to write it down in case somebody else comes up with it, and I can say I came up with it first.
I agree.
This is another idea. Something, when you display something in public, nobody can come and say, oh, this is my idea. I also sometimes do that when I think this idea is worth getting a patent for, right? So I put it on the blog as well. But again, blogging was great, or still is. The blog post that I wrote still helps me a lot with my business, but I don't see the value for my business, taking the time, the effort, pausing the client work to write more blog posts. I don't think it will help me in my business, right? I'm trying to work on a guest post for a famous blog for like 5 months, I think now, because I seriously don't get the time. This is my priority. This would be the next blog post if it ever sees the light of day. I don't know, but that's why, because they demand so many references, so much research, so much examples. This is impossible to do. I mean, the higher the standards are, the longer it takes to write a blog post, and the more time you need to take off the clients, pause the client work, and this is not always a good idea.
How the heck did you find the time to write a book then?
Oh, I was writing it one day at a time. These are my tips that I posted on LinkedIn, right? I just collected them. I was posting those tips in the beginning 3 to 4 times a week on LinkedIn, later twice a week. And then at some point I just, sat down, categorized that. And it's not like I literally sat and there was a blank piece of paper. I already had 100 plus tips to select from. So I needed to combine them, to decide the order, to edit them. And then, of course, I had an editor who helped me, without language things. And yeah, it was, again, not an effort from 0 to 180 miles per hour in 3 seconds. It just was a small effort over a long period of time. I think this is extremely important in your business, is consistency, because we are all impatient. People generally are impatient, and we would like to achieve everything at once or a lot soon. And if we can't, we just feel blocked, and we're like, okay, then I'm not doing anything. If I can't do that, I don't have the time to write the book now, so I'm not doing anything. But if you start, writing a page a week or a page in 2 days, in a year, you will have your book. But if you don't, if you're like, oh my God, I don't have the time, year passes and you are like, man, I wish I started writing a page a day a year ago. Start now. What's the problem?
Yeah.
You don't want, the other thing is, you don't want to have important conversation or useful conversations or share useful tips in the desk drawer and put them in the desk drawer on your email inbox. Do it in public. Post on social. You have a thought you would like to discuss with yourself, but you think it's like beneficial for your target audience. Put it on Twitter, Facebook, whenever you are. I also tested my tips like that, because I then went and saw, okay, what tips resonated most? And I put them to be the first 10 ones, because it always goes in the reading sample of the book. And I asked my beta readers, I wrote my book also not because I decided to do it, but people literally harassed me to do it. I just got tired of getting messages like, oh, Jill, your tips on LinkedIn, where can I get the first 100 ones or the previous ones? Do you have a book? Do you have a blog post? Where are they? And I'm like, nowhere. No, I don't have time to write the book. No, go away. I have other things to do. But at some point, like drop by drop, and they kind of got to me. And I was like, man, this is an audience that literally actively is waiting for this bloody book. So just sit and write it. So to me, it was already this fear of, oh my God, nobody's going to read that, was taken care of. I knew there is a bunch of people, and the launch was great, and support is great, and still is. There are people who are waiting for this book to come out. If you have that, you're already like, it's already part of the deal. It's a big part of the deal, and you almost want that. You just need to make this book good, right? Because there are always two sides of the medal. You need to make the book good, and you need to find an audience who is going to read it. Because if nobody sees it, who cares if it's the greatest book in the universe? So I had the audience. I just really had to sit down, and I even had the content, because my audience already told me this content is great. So just put it in the book. I mean, It sounds easy. It was like seriously super hard to do again because of technical things, because of making ebook formats, formatting it, cover, Amazon. This was difficult, like this back end of things. But just typing the content up was not, because I already did it for, I think, till that time, 6 or 7 months, right? I started in April and I wrote the book in November. Right. But I think it was 1.5 years then, it can't be half a year. So it was 1.5 years, right? Yes.
So now you're almost at tip 200 on LinkedIn.
Yeah, soon 200. I'm thinking what I'm going to share on the tip 200.
How far ahead are you with writing the tips?
No, I actually sit to write them half an hour before I post.
That was my guess, but I know for sure. But on Twitter, you do plan every post, right?
Yeah, I use Buffer, and I schedule with Excel sheet. I have my system. It's too complicated to explain. I also think nobody's interested. That already I have about 300 entries of snippets of text plus picture sometimes, and I can bulk upload it to Buffer. I have like a system where I can select them, quickly copy to this other format and upload it, and then just do minor corrections. And each week I decide what posts those want to be. And I, of course, mix it with posts of other people. So Twitter is different, right? Because it's difficult to have long discussions on Twitter. The tweets disappear within 1-2 hours, so they are not there to get attention for long. For LinkedIn is different. You have like, I think, 1,500 words. So it's like a mini something. You can indeed share information, and you're putting this effort, and more people will see it because it's longer. There are not that many people post on LinkedIn as opposed to Twitter. And the community of copywriters, freelancers is very active on LinkedIn. I actually didn't notice that on Twitter at all. People on Twitter, my audience is a bit different. I'm there more to connect with people in a different way, not so much of teaching them something, but just, maybe to rant sometimes about the copy or whatever. And my posts are there to just show people who found me somehow what I do, right? If some followers come to me through my website or somehow other ways, and like, oh, who is this person, right? And they see the post I share, my own blog posts that are good, that I pre-selected, so to give them an idea. But the people who have been following me for a while, they of course are fed up of this. They've already seen everything, right? And I get then the most engagement of things where I just rant about copy or about my day, about my cat, about some dumb things I found on somebody else's website, right? But this is what Twitter for. LinkedIn is for in-depth discussions, and I teach on LinkedIn really actively. I answer comments I write comments, very in-depth answers to everybody who asks a question, generally speaking. And I have these two networks. They have different purposes for me, and there are different audiences. And I really enjoy doing that because it works. It works the way I want it to work. So yeah, Facebook will never have worked for me like this, I think.
It looks like everything you told me about now, and also that I see from you, is that you make decisions and then really work dedicated at them.
Yeah,
you say, okay.
I'm strategic in my approach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just feels like a waste of effort, I must say. Of course, sometimes I do things just because I like to, which is crazy. The one example that brings me so much traffic, but it's completely untargeted traffic. I wrote a post just for Kitty because she was asking whether she can insert a Gmail form into an email already, so people see it and can interact with it inside an email. And because I'm a software engineer by education, I went and figured out the way. There was no way. Nobody ever figured it out. I figured it and I put it on my blog just, for Kitty to see. And what do you know, like half of the internet wants to know how it's done. And I have 170 comments on this thread, and of course I then created a lead magnet to tell people, okay, if you want to know how to input survey in your email, maybe you're running a business, right? And then I gave them a lead magnet about running successful surveys, blah, blah, blah. And some of them do subscribe, but this is the audience that is least targeted to, what I do. But this is, again, was something I really wanted to do, to geek out about, inserting some code in an email. So I do such things from time to time, but the busier I am, the fewer of these things I can do, because it's not like, oh, I have to do that, but it really, gives me a sense of my effort not wasted. Because at the end of the day, I would like to move forward with my business. I would like to become more known. I would like to have, different particular kinds of projects, or, to earn more money, whatever. And I would like to make every hour count, plus have fun. So, because as we already established, I try not to do things that I really, really do not enjoy. Sure, a business, you have to do things you don't enjoy. Write invoices, answer inquiries. Sometimes it's so hard to get the contacts. The person was asking so much on email, like, we exchanged emails 10 times, and I'm like, oh my God. And then they finally signed the contract, paid the deposit, and I have a feeling I already done my job. I actually feel like they already paid me for what I just did, this 10 exchanges of emails. Sometimes I would record a video. If they have a question why it's like that, I would go record a video as an answer. And this is so long, and I really do not enjoy doing that. But this is the part of the process, right? But if there are things like cold emailing Facebook, and I do not enjoy doing, or blog posts just because I have, just to rant about something, to put it on the blog, this feels like wasted effort. I do not like doing that.
Are you also very strategic about your pricing? Because I come back to the original question that I had like 5 minutes ago.
That was a question about pricing.
I was starting to do this question, and I thought about something else. But the question that I had in my mind was, so then you get the first inquiry. How did you determine how much you can charge for that, and how did you do your pricing after that? Because you're very clear pricing on your website right now.
Well, the projects fall into just a couple of categories. Person can ask me to review a page or a set of pages without writing anything up, just literally a video review. Then we have a video review with a written report. And then we have copywriting projects where I write copy and sometimes create fully designed mockups. So there are literally two big categories that each have two subcategories. There is really no other way. Consultations that I do them very rarely and this is just price per hour, but these are projects that already have particular steps in them. So because I did it so many times, I know that a website review would require me to write a questionnaire for them to answer, to go through this questionnaire and to ask additional questions, then to record, to make my notes when I go through their website, to record a video on the website, and then to put it in the report if they ask me to. And based on my experience, I can already assess how much time each step is going to take me. Then I'll just say, okay, this, I'll have like an Excel table, and I was like, a questionnaire, 2 hours, making like complete questionnaire plus this other round, 2 hours. I'm just saying it from my top of my head, because it depends on the website, how many pages you would like me to review, how bad is your website, and something. What kind of niche that is, you know? Do I understand already a couple of things from your website, or it's completely vague and I have to ask you everything from scratch? So it really depends on the quality of website, niche, how familiar I'm with the niche, and so on and so forth. And then, so I write the hours for each task. Then I multiply it by a particular number. I'm not going to tell you. And then I add overhead amount of, because every time you plan, even if you say, okay, I know how the task will take, multiply by hourly rate, it will always take longer. I think I know only of 3 projects that didn't take longer. Everything else took longer. Now I have a project, I'm like, oh my God, why is it taking so long? And then I just add 20% to it. But it also depends on what kind of inquiry I got, because sometimes I get a feeling a person can communicate well. They are very brief and succinct in their communication. They answer my question properly. Or I have people who you know, write me novels. And of course, this like will take so much time to go through their answers. So I need to calculate into this all Excel table the personality of the client. Sure, it's not their problem, right? This is just their personality, and I have to deal with them. But they also need to understand, if they cannot give me succinct answers, or I have to really read like pages of things to just read out 2 paragraphs that I'm interested in, it will be just a higher price, because I need to, you know, to accommodate the additional effort I will be spending. So a lot of, as you can see, a lot of things go into it, but I have a process, which I must say is not ideal, because as I said, everything takes longer. I only remember not even a handful of projects where I was like, yay, it's under the budget, but everything else is just crazy.
But on your website, there's most of the things that I find is in your services is that it has a fixed price.
No, it says from. It never has a fixed price. That would be crazy, because everybody has different requirements.
Okay.
It says starts from. That's the trick. So they know the range. They know, okay, this would be approximate, blah. And I also say what it depends on, because I can't list every possible scenario, right? Whether you need a mark, you don't need a mark, you have super bad pages, you need to, you know, burn your website with fire, write new one, or you just need minor changes. I can't accommodate that. But I tell them like a starting from, so they did know, okay, would it be in my range or not?
Right. Now I understand. You talked about, okay, so you everything is in building a business and making it better and getting more audience, attract more people. Do you have like goals?
Well, you know, I think if you don't have expectations, you can't be disappointed. So I'm really careful with goals. I set really short to medium-term goals, because I also noticed that life is such a thing, you know, something happens in your life and you can't achieve your, like coronavirus came, right? My child is at home, I can't work. I have to start my work at 11 p.m. I finish at 3 a.m. You know, I cannot work. I've worked that like this for 8 weeks. That is crazy. And I cannot do, you know, what I was planning to do. Like nobody can in 2020, I think. So I try to really do more like weekly goals, or like project related goals. And I need to finish this project by this time. I need to do this page, send out this questionnaire, and, you know, do this by that. And the only major goal I have is that I have to earn, not have to, but I would like to earn more money than I did in previous year. And that's it. That's really like the bigger goal is only that. How this happens, it's up to me. And I have an Excel sheet where I track the comparison between the months last year or the months this year. So some kind of graphs. I'm not sure how they're useful, but they like make me feel better. Than I think, oh, look at this. This month is better than last year. Wow. And so I can just, have an idea of, am I working more efficiently? Is my rate per hour not the one that I, put in my calculation, but actual ones? What I charged people overall and how many hours I worked, did this increase, right? Even if I didn't earn more than I did last year, did other metrics increase, like, a price per project? Did my project become more expensive? Did I earn more per hour than I used to last year? And just if it's just a little bit better, I'm happy. So it needs to be some kind of progress. It doesn't have to be like light years of progress, but it's just the only thing I expect from myself today is to be better than I was yesterday. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only goal I have.
It sounds easy, and at the same time it sounds difficult.
But it's like the consistency is the key. If every time, every of today's, you are better than every of your yesterdays, in a year you are really far away from where you were a year ago.
I agree. We talked about it before. Just before this call, you spoke about where you come from, and then you said, well, it's not really interesting to the people that visit my website. Do you think it is important for a company to write their grand vision on the website, so that how they want to change the world?
I think it's important to give an idea, yes, but without using the words vision and mission. It's important. About pages are important in general. Yes, they are also one of the most visited pages on websites. About pages. People would like to know more about your company. What exactly they would like to know about your company really depends on your business. Right? If you are a freelancer, or if you are a part of your product, maybe one person business, and your personality, your skills are a part of what you sell, you need to tell them things about yourself that make you more credible, more likable, and more professional in their eyes, right? If I start telling them about my background, that I, lived in 3 countries and this and that, it does not contribute to anything. I can make myself appear likable while I'm also checking out trust and professionalism points. So I'd rather do that and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, 2 birds with 1 sentence, right? Not everything, not every hobby, not every part of your biography belongs on your about page as a person, if it's about yourself. The same is about the company. What do you think? When a person, your prospect, clicks on about page, just, think if you were them, what would they expect to have? For example, now I will be writing a whole website for Linux consultant firm, right? So and we know what the clients expect because they told me already, we talked about that. They expect to see the titles of team members that this consultancy has, and their technology stacks and their skills, right? So we will concentrate on that. Before I came to work on this project, that their page consisted of avatars, not even real picture photos of people, literally cartoons, where they would talk about kids and pets and musical instruments, right? This is not what your clients are interested in. A client who wants to hire a Linux consultancy firm that would be meddling with their code, with their service, they don't care how many kids you have. They want to know if you have a level of experience they need, if you are trustworthy. And of course, you can't write "I'm trustworthy." You need to show your face. You need to have a great picture that projects this my God, can I pronounce this? Trustworthiness and professionalism, right? You can't be with your dog under the tree in a training suit, right? You need to have, because pictures also tell stories, like evoke emotions and communicate a message. So it again really depends on your company. Vision, mission, I'm not sure, especially not with words like this, if you mean them seriously. If you're somehow joking about that, and if you are this jokey brand, then you can use those words. But man, I don't think it's a good idea to use them in a serious way. We are on a mission to, make you happy. This is doesn't feel good, I must say, and not something that your prospects will be interested in. Just imagine what they want. Just think about it. If somebody clicks on your about page, what do they expect to find? Write that. If you are planning to write about vision and mission, ask yourself, do you know anybody who would be thrilled to hear the words vision and mission? Or I don't know, maybe there are cases like that. Again, everything depends on your context and business model and business, kind of business. But in 90% of the cases, I can't imagine that will be the case.
Yeah, because I've said many times that I think it's important to share your vision as an entrepreneur, because it makes it easier for people to want to follow you.
I don't see the connection, to be honest.
No, yeah, there's
no connection.
Okay, that's interesting.
Only because you say it's like this, comma, because, it's X because Y. I don't see the connection because X and Y. It would, what I mean, follow you. I don't want to follow you. I want to hire you to solve my problems. What I mean by follow. But okay, if you want to be a leader in the industry and you want people to follow you, people expecting you to have a mission, yeah. If your prospects expect you to have a mission, go ahead. But I don't think the prospects of copywriters, web designers, SEO consultants expect you to have a vision, or want you to have a vision, or wish for you to have a vision, right, or would like you better if you had a vision. I don't think so.
I read the book, of course, and what really frustrates me
in the book, or generally in life?
No, from generally in life. No, from reading the book. Let's put it that way. Is that I have now to make all these changes to my website.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
It is so frustrating.
Now you can't forget all that you read. Now it will keep you awake at night and like, oh my God, why did I read it? Ignorance is a bliss, right? Do not read my book, people.
I know.
You will not sleep well.
That's the whole point. Is I know that I have improvements on my website. Of course, I know that. I know that I need to take steps and make improvements. But then you have so many suggestions for small improvements, and some are even big. That, oh my God, when am I going to do all this? I don't know.
But isn't it have you seen the number 100? Did you read number?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Yeah, it says don't touch your website. So if you're happy with the results,
no, I'm not happy with the results. I listen to you, and I know I'm not happy with the results. I listen I read your posts. I listen to you chat now, to all your drivenness and all your directed efforts. I think, oh my God, I have so much to do. I just don't know when.
Well, once again, that's probably should flatter me, but I mean, it's a dangerous approach, because there always be somebody who is doing better than you, or who, you think is doing better than you. Again, just, you need to be better than you yourself yesterday. That's it.
No, I agree.
I mean, it really doesn't matter what other people are doing. I also get frustrated. I also muted a couple of people on social. I love them and I adore them, but I just can't read their posts because they make me feel really bad. They're working and they founded like business number 10 and they're so successful, and I work till 3 a.m. at night, and I don't know, or next day I can't work or whatever. It makes me so frustrated that this is, every time there will be somebody who is better than you, who is more successful, and you really can't concentrate on that and even allow yourself to think that.
No.
You'll be like, okay, it doesn't matter. In Germany, it's such a nice word, egal, egal.
Yeah, egal. Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Egal.
Yeah.
And just do your thing, This is what I think. I just breathe through it, and I have my own limitations, not only based on, just physical environment, a kid and household. I also, I never had a supportive family. I had such a weird moving through countries, being thrown in environments where I had to start from scratch at least 2 or 3 times in my life. I think 3 times by now. And this is super hard to do. And it just takes takes all your resources, mental resources. And if I don't know if you know the difference. I mean, I can imagine the difference growing up in supporting family where your parents support you, where you still can call them when you feel bad, where you feel still that there is somebody behind you can catch you, when something happens. And growing up in a family who just like really abuses you big time, emotionally or physically, it's such a big difference. And you grow up, or you turn into a person with different capacities. Also, willpower, mental capacity, whether you are calmer, more confident. You also need to consider these limitations, because we are not machines. We are the product of our upbringing, and we bring our baggage with us. I don't know a single person, even from supportive families, who are completely happy, completely confident, always smiling, can bounce back easily every time there's some kind of shit going on in your life,
Yeah.
And I'm sure, especially if you have this kind of hard or difficult past or difficult present, cut yourself a slack. That successful person you see on bragging about on Twitter, I always imagine them being from super happy families, having all perfect. I don't know if they did, maybe they didn't, but I think, man, I didn't have that, right? And I cut myself a slack. I think I'm doing great. Given all my baggage or my past, I'm doing awesome. I know that some bro will come and say, no, you're not doing enough. You need to work 25 hours a day and, sleep only on Sundays 2 hours. But, that's not me. I cannot do that. You need also to know your limitations and be okay with them and say, that's fine. I'm working in this setting. I have 5 kids, I don't know. Or I have, I'm a single mother. These are my limitations. And whatever I do, I'm enough. Right? Even if you didn't do anything tonight, that's fine, because you need to rest. You're not a machine. If you had a bad day, you didn't do anything, and you're like, man, I didn't do anything. This person already earned their first million before they're 35. What am I gonna do in my life? I'm a failure. No, you're fine. You are doing as much as you can. Just breathe through it. Remind yourself of things you achieved in life. This is also very important. If you think the day is horrible, whatever, just think about things you achieved. Think what limitations you had, and you still achieved that, and say, it's okay. It's okay. I'll just gonna walk my own path and, whatever. So I really, although I said, okay, don't read my book because you will feel bad, I'd rather say read my book, but try not to feel bad. I think this is a better approach.
Of course, I was joking a little bit, because the good thing about your book is all these tips are just 1 to 2 pages, right? If there's numbers next to it, it's 2 pages, but in general, just 1 page. And you can focus on each tip a week or maybe a month, right? So
yeah, definitely.
In the end, if you do that, and your website will improve, and that's, I think, is the most important part. You can give it to your website designer and say, we need to improve on these points, right?
True.
There's a lot of website designers that need this book, because there's so many things in here that are counterintuitive, and you wrote about it in the book, because you see that people copy things from other websites. You say, okay, I have this on my website because I found it there and they seem successful, so I need that. That's just nonsense, right?
Yeah, that's a bad approach.
But that's just how things go. That's just what people do. They look at other people and say, okay, he's really doing fine, and he's really successful, and he's using this and that, so I need to do that too. I have this list. Oh, I can see it by video.
Yeah, I can see that. Notes. Yeah.
And these are all the points. I think that's like 25 maybe of the posts that I need to cover. So I need to go back to those chapters and to cover it again and to look at it again. See, for example, what I was here in chapter 98, or tip 98, was, should we use we? It's a very it sounds very logical to use we, like we're going to work on this together, right? So I'm going to work with you, my client, we're going to work on this together. And then you explain it, and he says, no, but you're on a different level. You're helping them because you're at another level.
Yeah, just to give some context, at some point, I mean, it's okay to say we are going to work on this together if you would like to paint a picture of you and them already being a team. But what I think I'm talking about in this point was phrases like, we all have these problems, or we all struggle with it. Then you're putting yourself on the same level as your client, because if you claim to solve these problems, how come you have them, right? This is the thing I was talking about. But when you say together, we will do these things, this is fine, because then you're kind of already planted this idea in your client's mind how it will look like when you start working together, that you are a part of their team, This is fine. But once again, just you need to make sure you do not put yourself on the same level as your clients. You are someone who knows better. You always need to remember.
Otherwise, they wouldn't hire you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So also, in the tip 88, that is about the not comparing, and I think it's about the website, but it's also what we talked about before. Don't compare yourself to other people, because it just makes your life worse. And go by your own tempo and your own limitations, and improve yourself every day, just 1%, because that will be like 375%. No, that's a lot of more percentages that you increase by year.
You don't wanna count that in mind.
No. I love your book. I love your work, and the tips. I don't read them all, but I see many, and I always go like, oh, damn, I should do that on my website. And sometimes I look at the page and I go like, okay, I can maybe do this, and I don't remember where the tip came from, but probably it came from you, so that's good. So what do people need to do? What's the best thing for them to get this book for
Amazon
themselves?
is the only place it's available at, because I'm in Germany and I can't ship from Germany to US, where the majority of my clients are. So I have to use Amazon. It's available everywhere. The paperback is available, I think, only in US, Canada, Europe, and I think that will be it, actually. But Kindle is available everywhere worldwide. Amazon also lets you download a reading sample that is huge. When I saw it, I was like, come on, Amazon, are we giving my book away for free now? It's like 10 plus tips, if not more. So you will definitely get an idea whether it's for you. If it's not for you, totally fine. But as we heard today, a lot of praise for the book, and you can see the testimonials as well. I think this is very helpful, just because it's a different book. As I already said, I try not to do things that other people already did better than me. And I think such book does not exist. When you said that, one tip is one page, it doesn't mean it's too little information. It means the information is so concise that not a single word is wasted. If you are tired of business books that you keep buying and keep not finishing because they are just could have been a bigger blog post, it doesn't have to be a book. I bought so many books that just could be a blog post, and that's fine. After a couple of chapters, I'm so bored and it's repetitive and whatever. Nothing is repetitive in that book. You will find value in it from the chapter 1, and you will keep finding value in it till chapter 100. I'm completely sure about this, based on the feedback, based on the idea that is behind this book, meaning not to make it yet another book on copywriting, on web design that is so long and that is inspirational, whatever. It's an actual book. There is nothing inspirational in this book, literally nothing. It's just like a workbook. If you can get a paperback, because you can write in the book, you have my full permission to, put sticky notes, write, color, whatever helps you use it. It's important. And I think it will be very helpful to you. So, but okay, I may be biased. Just have a look on Amazon. And
no, I was already promoting you, so that was okay.
Yeah.
What is the easiest way for people to find you?
My website is gillandrews.com in one word. You can just Google for me, and I will be the first Gill Andrews that will pop up in search.
Yeah, Gill with a G.
With it, yeah. And LinkedIn and Twitter, same way. I think you will probably link from this podcast page, or you just Google for me. You will find me.
Yeah. One final question.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a banner, it's a question I've stolen from Timothy Ferris. If you have a banner that is widely visible for millions of people,
mm-hmm.
and millions of people, not people, and you could put a message there that's not commercial, what would you put up there? What do you want the world to see?
You are enough.
Wow. Not a word too much.
That's how I roll.
And that's how you roll. Oh, Gill, thank you so much for this conversation. It was a long time that I was looking forward to this, and I'm really glad that we could have a chat, and we didn't talk about many tips, because I think they should just subscribe to your emails and just buy the book and
Exactly. I already wrote my, my best tips in the book. I mean,
I agree.
what's the point of reiterating everything? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.